Good day, it's Resolve Partners again with a quick explanation around AP, invoices, as well as the associated purchase order, including receipt. So it's very, very straightforward. You're, by this point, very familiar with the Acumatica environment or are getting very familiar with the environment. You can see that we are currently under payables, which is accessible along the menu here. But also, if you were to indicate that a particular area is a favorite of yours. So for instance, vendors, something you would frequently access as an AP clerk. You can go to favorites and you can see those individual favorites that are shown here. Okay. The vendor one that we just recently added. So to enter a payables, very straightforward. Hit this button here, or this menu item here, pardon me, and open that up. Hit the plus button. Okay. It's going to ask you some specific information particular to this payable, of course. Who is the vendor? There's a lookup here. If you know the name of the individual account, you can access it via this short form. So CAR will shorten the search and bring up that individual list. Select it. It's going to bring in its account information specific to cartridge. Which resides in your master files, pardon me. And then it's simply a matter of once you're comfortable with what's on the header, including dates, etc., you can enter your first item in the same process as we entered the vendor by hitting this plus button here. It's going to default to the branch. It's going to ask you what the inventory ID is. We're going to use laptop. So again, here's that quick lookup. Okay, and it will start to isolate the individual item that we want, select that. It's going to bring in the information from the inventory card specific to this inventory item, including pricing, descriptions, etc. We're going to order a single laptop. And at that point, you can add another line here as well and continue to add multiple lines. But we're going to keep things simple here. We're going to say now that we've done that, we want to remove the hold and start to process that and release that now. Okay. Now, I did this intentionally. You can see this AP error code. All lines of this must be related to a PO receipt line. So we'll go ahead and enter a PO and receipt that, and then set this AP invoice against that for our three-way match. So same thing, you can access the purchase order menu structure here. You can also access it handily via your favorites button. If you hit purchase orders here, okay, same process, hit this button here for a new purchase order. It's going to be for the same vendor. Again, the quick lookup. Okay, it's bringing cartridge up. It's going to bring the default information, including the location where that would be receipted into. Okay, it's going to indicate some other things here as well. And then we can add in the individual lines again. It's going to default to head office. Again, the quick lookup, cartridge. Sorry, we're doing a laptop, pardon me, laptop. Bring that in there. We're going to do a singular onesie. We're going to do 1 unit. At this point, the pricing does match. If the pricing doesn't match, you'll find that on the purchase price variance, either on the quantity or the costs on the payable, or on the receipt, or on the packing slip, or on the PO itself. Okay, we're going to release that purchase order, and we're going to immediately enter the receipt. Typically, you wouldn't do that, of course. You have to order it, then it comes in, and then you enter the PO receipt. But to speed things up for this example, we're going to enter the PO receipt. Okay, release that, and that operation is complete. So if we now go back to our favorites and back to our individual payable, I would look up, pardon me, sorry, wrong menu here. I go back to enter the individual invoice, and I bring up that invoice that we're going to release. Now I can release it. Have to receipt it. So add the PO receipt lines here. You can look up this one here, select it. There's a PO receipt line. We can add and close, and then we can release that. That's not linked. It's actually duplicating this line here. So let me just get rid of this line here. Yeah. Okay. Now I should be able to release it. There we go. Okay, so that's matched to the individual invoice. The payable has been released. It's been receipted. The invoice has been released and matched to the individual PO and PO receipt. Let's go ahead and pay that, complete the cycle, and then we'll look at the entries, etc. Okay, release that. Operation is now complete. And if we go back into the individual favorites here, and we look at that, those bills and adjustments, we look up that closed transaction here, we can see this individual inventory item and all the extended costs, etc. We can drill down into the inventory item and see information particular to this individual inventory items and stock, etc. We can, of course, also look at the PO number related to this. Okay. We can look at the PO receipt. Okay. So everything's aligned and everything's in its place as it should be. And that really includes the process of a payable and with a related PO.